Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Arfon with Grow Automate Scale, and I'm here with another episode of the Successful Lead Generating Coaches Show. And today I want to talk about navigating the AI revolution. What you need to know as a coach, especially if you're advertising on Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram, or even Google, LinkedIn, any of that. This can apply to you. So, as some of you may know, my agency that we operate together with me and JoJo, we've been helping coaches since 2019 leverage Facebook and Instagram ads. And over the past 2 years, with the development of AI, especially the text-based AI, a lot has happened and has developed quite rapidly, which is amazing, right? So one thing that we've been doing too as well, helping a lot of our clients do, is to use this to our benefit because while we don't necessarily think that AI can completely replace anyone and such like a graphic designer, you've probably messed around with AI graphics and things like that, and you can see that is not crisp, clean 100% that you would get if you worked with a designer. In some cases, is amazing, especially like, as guys, all of us typically like to do cartoons and things like that. It's part of our personalities, but it's really cool. And but when you're doing ad graphics, there are some that can do pretty good. So it's something you have to test, but give it the right prompts, things like that. But even deeper than that, one thing that's really helping to transform how coaches are using AI to better their business and to really get better results, right? So, first is the impact on advertising. There are different places out there that can use tools and software to help you to test better. Magix an example of that. There are often paid solutions for these, and I find that they, they're going to use the money. They're going to spend it whether they get good results or not. And I've seen cases where clients have come to me because they've done that and it just didn't work out in their favor. And somewhere they've done that and it's helped them to understand what's working. So you have to test it, but also go with the caution of that. Whatever budget you use, you may lose that budget. It may not get you a return. And that's just unfortunate how the landscape is. So, but what has been just like working like amazing, especially if you're doing launches and webinars, is we've been taking the ad copies, the graphics, things like that, the headlines, plugging it into Claude or ChatGPT, whichever you use, and giving it certain prompts to find out what were the commonalities between these ad copy, between the messaging that we have on our ad copy, our landing page, our sales pages, things like that, that's making it resonate, that's making it work, and what are the things that are not. And it's really helping to identify gaps in the messaging that when you're looking at um, the data and you're seeing that you have, let's say, three, four, five different ad copy, and you've tested that with three or four or five different headlines, sometimes it can get a little cloudy or a little gray when you start going into the high creative numbers, when you're doing like 10 different ad copy or things like that. Or if you're on the lower end and you're only doing one or two copy and you're wondering, well, why is it missing the mark? I'm not getting the best results. It helps to identify the gaps of the messaging that you have on the ad copy to what's on the actual landing page. And this has been incredibly fruitful and been giving us some really, really amazing insights as far as like, depending on how big of a launch you do, it's often that, hey, this did super amazing. We had a really great launch. We did about 5K in ad spend. We got 500, 1,000 leads, whatever the case is. And then we do that. You do that same thing again, and you're like, well, my lead cost increased. This, it didn't go. It a successful launch. That's great, but the ads didn't really perform as well as it did before. And one thing that we noticed is that and plugging this in and just collecting this data, one thing that really, really stood out has been that some of the best creatives in terms of copy and headlines, things like that, that worked amazing the first time, end up becoming the lower performing the second round. And then diving into it and looking at the audience, looking at our target audience, things like that, I start realizing that hey, the audience got a little saturated, right? We they saw these ads for quite a while. They weren't able to. we converted a lot of people, but now doing it again, all those who converted the first time, well, they've already converted, right? They're already part of the email list, already part of the program. So that pool of people is now much smaller. And that original messaging hook and messaging angles that did amazing, now it still works, but is not performing as amazing as before. And one of the big things with that is, again, is the audience saturation. Think of it this way. If you have a room of 100 people and you tell them, hey, in within the next 10 minutes, we're all gonna go, if you would like, for free. You're gonna get to work out with a personal trainer for 15 minutes and get your blood flow going. Not all 100 people are gonna do that. You're gonna get X amount is gonna raise their hand and say typically about 25 or 30% are gonna be there. The rest are gonna not do that. Okay, so if those 25, 30 people left, right now you have 70 people in the room. If you say that same thing again, can you imagine what's going to happen? Is another 20, 30 or so going to go? No, it's going to be a lot less and less and less. So, same thing too as well when we're advertising is that there's a pool of an audience, and Facebook gives you these estimated reaches. These are just estimated reaches. The thing is, if there's an audience size of 3 million and it's costing you $20 just to reach 1,000 people, think about how much of a budget you would need to actually reach all 3 million, right? It'd be quite high of a budget. And now, if you did reach all 3 million, now what happens is that, again, you converted those who would have converted. You do it again, those people have already gone. That pool of people have already gone, and now you're converting a lower amount of people. Okay, hope that makes sense to you. That's one of the biggest things we've analyzed with this process. I've been doing that, and the way we come around that now is that now we have awareness. We're able to just plug in all of our copy and be able to get the analysis of what worked really well, what didn't work really well. Now we're able to take the gist, the essence of that copy, and make small tweaks. What's a small tweak? Well, a small tweak is just the first line of the ad copy. This is your hook, your messaging hook. You can just tweak that messaging hook a little bit. And what happens now is that you kind of refresh that pool a bit now to really capture the that 50, 60, 70% of that audience that wasn't resonating with the message now has a different message they can resonate with, and you can revive the ad cost. And we saw this really great. One of our clients, we've been working together for over 5 years now, and have done 3 to 4 launches actually every single year, and have come across that to where we get really good results, and then the results are good, but it's not better than the original. Then we make these tweaks, and now it's boom, we're back again getting great results, and then repeating that process, and then it's like, okay, something's got to give. So we plugged it all in, and we were able to actually split it up. And what ended up happening now is that we had 3 buckets of creatives, and this worked amazing. These 3 different buckets had 3 different angles, and the ad copy, everything was catered to that. So while it was the same event, we tweak, we made tweaks to the landing pages, and we had 3 iterations of the landing page that now had 3 messaging. Now we were able to expand our campaigns. We were able to spend 20K more in ad spend and be able to maintain a lower cost per lead as we scaled up pretty high. And it was just a big eye-opening thing to see this happen, especially when we're spending in total we spent about 75K in ad spend on that launch. Which originally this client we were spending $1,500 in ad spend, and grew over the years, of course. But the amazing thing is that when something is working good, you can still tweak it, you can still assess it, you can still get better results by leveraging some of these AI tools we have. And this is the one thing that I would say for sure, especially if you've done 2 or 3 launches, you ran ads, and you're spending a good amount of money, you're seeing results come in. Take your ad copy, take your headlines, plug it in there, give us a prompt, tell it to analyze this copy to the sales page and identify where there's mismatch or gaps in messaging. Okay, see the commonalities between the messaging hooks and angles and headlines that are producing the best results. Now it's important to get all this data, right? Pull all this data from your ads manager. Make sure you get the click-through rate and things like that. So the more information you give it, the better your results are going to be in terms of helping you to plan and get better results for your next launch coming up. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. It's just, a really quick thing I want to talk about. Something that we're doing right now in our agency, leveraging some of the AI to help us with the analysis process. And the thing is, it's just there's only so much we can look at in one sitting in our with our human brain to process. But with the AI, we're able to really plug in more data and get even a bigger 30K, 30,000 feet view of how everything is working. And this is going to really help you to get better results in your advertising. Okay, so with that being said, hope this has been helpful to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the show, the channel. And if you are in need of advertising support, you're looking to do a launch, you want to get your evergreen things going, you want to get results in ads, you want to be able to put $1 in and see $4 come out, you want to be able to consistently grow your email list, right? There's a saying that you always need to be growing your email list as an online business. Your email list is your biggest assets. You own that list. No one can take that from you. And the cool thing is that the more that email list grows, the better you're going to be able to see more conversions for your offers. Okay. So if that sounds like you, let's schedule a free 30-minute call. I'll be able to dive into what you have going on and look at it piece by piece. If you're currently running ads, be able to see what are the gaps based on my experience that can help you get better results. If you're looking to even start with ads, we can take a look and see what you have and what's going to be the best foot forward to start helping you to generate quality leads and helping you to make more sales. So you can book that call totally for free. Just go to arfanhussein.com or just go to growautomatescale.com and you'll be able to click on a link and schedule that free call. With that being said, we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.